All right, video number 2. Zero Hedge article. I just discussed this about my theory about the cyber attack, the ransomware, whatever the hell that thing was called. Trying to see what the name. It's got it sitting here in front of my face. One that blue something blue. Anyways, this thing, it was stolen from the NSA and the shadow brokers hacking group put it up for sale, but no one bought it. So they just released it publicly for anyone to just take and use. And somehow a group got it, used it, implemented it with their malware, which it's ransomware, and they're using that tool. Now, this is mostly against Windows XP and Vista, apparently, operating systems. And Microsoft actually released a patch for Windows XP, which it was done patching 3 years ago, and said, we're done with it. It's never getting updated again. But they went ahead and updated it because of the severity, I guess. That's what I'm reading. My theory, though, was it's funny that the hackers, the ransomware people, said we will only accept between, and it depended on which one popped up on your screen. It was either $300, $400, $500, or $600 ransom. So between $300 to $600 ransom. Here's our PayPal. Here's our Bitcoin address. We'll only accept Bitcoin. As I said, the bankers, the banksters, the club, the governments don't have a paper futures contract, derivatives contracts, etc. on Bitcoin like they do every other commodity, including stocks too. They have ETFs and other things. And they can push the price wherever they want by just betting the paper. No real asset, just bet the freaking paper. But there's no paper thing that can push Bitcoin around. It doesn't exist. And if you recall, those two brothers tried to get an ETF going for Bitcoin, and the Securities and Exchange Commission said, no, we're going to deny it. So not that long ago, as in maybe 2 weeks ago or less, I read it online. I didn't do a video about it, but they're appealing the Securities and Exchange Commission, which is a typical thing you can do if they deny you. And then they have so-and-so days to respond about your query. And could relook into doing it and say, you know what, on second thought, maybe we'll let you create one. Or they'll say, no, we stand by our decision. We don't want an ETF for this Bitcoin thing. And I said then, because everyone's all excited about, ETF might be good for Bitcoin. I said, well, I don't know. Because if ETF is an exchange-traded fund, it's basically a big pool of paper, so to speak, almost like betting on stocks. That'll be betting on Bitcoin. So it's kind of the same thing as the futures contract on the COMEX market that rigs the price of silver and gold. Matter of fact, all commodities. So I said, I just don't know if that's, good or whatever. So that's a, different story, and it's not going anywhere at the moment. But is it not interesting that Bitcoin hits the all-time high ever? It touched $1,900. Again, it's 1,810 cents right now as I'm speaking. And all of a sudden, this thing comes out, and the only form of payment they'll accept is Bitcoin. So criminals who can shut down computer systems worldwide, including hospitals, German transit stations, train stations, oh my gosh, public transportation can be brought down. I even heard Deutsche Bank. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see. I start to type Deutsche Bank, and one of the, the words come up. Well, let me just show you. Just take a look at this. It's funny. Speaking of, I started to type Deutsche, and douchebag came up. I was like, wait a minute, isn't it D-U-E or whatever, Deutsche? Yeah. Douchebag comes up. Yeah, good. 2 more down from douchebag is Deutsche Bank. Correct. Good. Fantastic. Ransomware. 1 day ago, ransomware attack. Who got hurt? Day 1, Deutsche Bahn, the German rail. That's Deutsche Bahn, not Deutsche Bank. Hold on. Bank of China ATMs go dark. Look who it is. Zero Hedge. Bank of China's ATMs go dark as ransomware attack cripples China. Germany's Deutsche Bahn, not bank, Deutsche Bahn, national railway operator affected. Someone said that it was, I'm just trying to look at it. that it was Deutsche Bank as well. Unless they got confused by Deutsche Bahn, the railway. Nonetheless, I'm just thinking out loud here. Banking system, stock market, the COMEX market, all the rigging. There's 22 million ounces of silver currently after the big hit, standing for delivery still. Somebody wants 22 million ounces of physical silver still standing for delivery. When they smash the price, it floods those people, it flushes them right out. They close their contract. I'm not demanding anything. Margin call. I just got screwed. Somebody's decided, I don't care about any of that. There's 22 million ounces of delivery standing. Is it China? Is it, who is it? Somebody wants some metals, regardless of what the hell they did to the price. But just think, because I've always said, I do not believe that the COMEX will, quote unquote, default. Oh, the COMEX defaulted. It couldn't deliver, metals today, so people got their money back and, got paid in cash. I said this before, and a long time ago, I did subscribe to that belief at first. They'll default one of these days. They're going to default because yada, yada, yada. But then I realized this is a club. They don't default. They blame it terror attack, virus attack, computer hack. And I've already gave you this scenario about Chicago CME Group, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which runs the COMEX. It is a privately run, self-regulating entity. Yeah, sure they are. Yeah, they do real good regulating, don't they? They're not going to quote-unquote default. But if a virus got them and knocked their systems offline, could you imagine? Oh, they could blame it on this. Who's even responsible? They're saying it might be Russians. Again, the Ruskies. Blame the Ruskies on this malware. Maybe it was the Ruskies. Your 401k just got screwed up. Markets are on haywire because the high-frequency trading algorithms are screwed. Virus nailed them. Oh my gosh, market's tanking. And you can't blame the bankers. You can't blame the Fed. You can't blame the government. You can only blame some terrorist somewhere that did this. Even though, wait a minute, it came from the NSA. This virus came from the NSA. Well, no, it was stolen from one of our subcontractors. One of our contractors we used. Their system was hacked, and our tool was taken from them. Well, that's interesting. What in the hell is a contractor doing with that kind of thing in their possession in the first place? That's your tool you should be using. And not that I agree with you using it at all to begin with, to be honest with you, but if someone's going to use it and you developed it, it's yours. You don't give it to a subcontractor. Oh, it got stolen from us, and now bad guys are using it. Oh, that's funny. Edward Snowden warned us about that well in advance. That's funny. Wow, how did he know that? Incredible, isn't it? So, I'm thinking out loud. I've already called this in advance from Chicago, and I said it could be a terror attack, take down the CME Group. Power goes out. Maybe the building's next to a building that got hit. Sears Tower or the Willis Tower, whatever the hell it's called these days. Right down the street, a couple blocks away, I believe, just from there. And I said they can maybe nail it with a terror attack. Maybe they can hit it with a virus. They'll blame North Koreans did it, the Russians, the Iran, somebody did it, Syrians. And anything bad that happens, markets and haywire, won't matter. You can't blame the club. They'll be pointing the finger at the bad guy and all these retirees and everybody that got screwed and the people investments and 401ks. There's your enemy. And people like me say, but hold on, whose tool did they use again? The NSA's? They got it and then used it, huh? You don't think maybe it was the NSA or one of its contractors that actually did this, do you? No, that wouldn't be patriotic of me to say. They would never do such a thing. Russians probably got it. I'm just talking out of my rear end right now. So my radar's on right now as this unfolds because now it's spread. There's 200,000 or 300,000 infected computers. It's now in the U.S. It's everywhere. Oh my gosh. So Zero Hedge has this article, cyber attacks expected to spread Monday. Why Monday? Why wouldn't they spread Sunday and Saturday? Well, because most computers are offline and, when the financiers, the bankers, and the Wall Streeters, and all these people go to work Monday and turn on their computers, it's believed that part 2 may hit, right? That's what they're saying. Cyber attacks expected to spread Monday as Europol fears computer systems simply won't even start. What? Update confirming our earlier report that Monday could get ugly for global computer systems. The Wall Street Journal writes on Sunday afternoon that cybersecurity experts are expecting another wave of computer system attacks that encrypt files and demands a ransom to unlock them on Monday, as companies and government agencies are seeking to restore normal operations and figure out the roots of the attack. We already figured out the roots. It came from the NSA. That's the root. It came from the NSA. Because if it didn't come from the NSA to begin with, this wouldn't be happening right now. Okay? And again, with the whole WebBot thing, Cliff I said it should be this month, which is May, or June, he told me, and I've mentioned it to you. Joe, looks like you're going to get some kind of credibility according to the WebBot for something you said or did or whatever a while back coming up here in the near future. Looks like maybe up next month or June or so. And I'm thinking, well, maybe silver will finally explode. I'll get recognition for saying that, all these years. Just keep buying and holding. It's going to happen, It could be that. Or it could be the CME group, the COMEX problem. Not a default per se, but, they get attacked. They get, both physically as in a terror event or through cyber issues such as this ransomware. I've already said that. I've already said it. Or it could have been, maybe it was the North Korean thing, because I've been talking about it. I got a video from 2010 talking about the prophet guy, whatever his name was, Dr. Oruro, about seeing these missiles coming out of North Korea, hitting the aircraft carrier of ours off the coast. And I thought, and strangely enough, now all of a sudden there's the talk. And not only that, they specifically threatened that action just recently. Actually knock out an aircraft carrier. They said it. They didn't say that before. So I have like 3 things on my radar of whatever this notoriety or whatever the hell this is that WebBot says I'm going to get. I can only come up with 3 right now. But this is the 3rd one now all of a sudden. Because I only had the 2 to begin with. This one really could possibly be it. But so could the other 2. Who knows? But it was in my mind and I just wanted to share that with you. The attacks, which made over 200,000 victims in at least 150 countries, affect only computers running Microsoft Corp's Windows that haven't installed the security patch that the company released back in March, or the emergency patch it released for older Windows systems over the weekend. The problem is that it can take organizations, especially large ones, a long time to install these patches. I think there's going to be a lot of infections Monday morning, said Ofer Israeli. Well, his last name is Israeli, no kidding. Chief executive of Tel Aviv-based cybersecurity firm Elusive Networks. Sounds a little suspicious to me. Time will tell how quickly people are going to patch their systems. If the answer is not fast enough, what started off as a modest crippling of global Windows-based systems could become a full-blown global paralysis, he said. Earlier, there was a silver lining in what has been dubbed the world's biggest ransomware attack. It struck on Friday mid-afternoon in Europe, just as businesses were winding down for the weekend. And as a result, the full impact of the forced system shutdowns would not be fully felt over the weekend when businesses and infrastructure are generally operating at a subdued pace. However, with the weekend coming to a close, the full extent of the inflicted damage may come apparent in just a few short hours, according, it's 9:43 p.m. tonight, Sunday. So by the time you read this tomorrow or see these videos tomorrow, 8, 9 a.m., we'll have to see what happens with this old virus thing. That was the warning by Europol Executive Director Rob Wainwright, who on ITV's Peston on Sunday broadcast said that additional disruptions are likely as people return to work Monday and turn on their desktop systems, and as a result, the unrivaled global cyber attack is poised to continue claiming victims. Speaking to ITV's, Wainwright added the attack was indiscriminate across the private and public sectors. At the moment, we are in the face of an escalating threat. The numbers are going up. I am worried about how the numbers will continue to grow when people go to work and turn their machines on Monday morning. The latest count is now over 200,000 victims in at least 150 countries. Many of those will be businesses, including large corporations. Now, can I just say for a second? 200,000 globally? There's more people getting garbage viruses and Trojans and everything else on a daily basis than that. So that's not even that bad, to tell you the truth. However, wait a minute. Let's wait and see what happens when they turn their computers on. And again, if this was an NSA type of a tool, and now the bad guys have taken it and are using it and combining it with their tool, oh my gosh, they can knock out the banking system. They can knock out the markets of the world. Oh my gosh, the COMEX could go down. Again, who would they blame it on? This is better than blaming it on a country. Because we think it might be. We don't know where it came from. This is some Terminator stuff, you know. Skynet. Maybe Skynet did it. NSA. It's Skynet, man. Blame it on Skynet. We've seen the rise of ransomware becoming the principal threat, I think, but this is something we haven't seen before. The global reach is unprecedented, he said. He also said the organizations across the globe, including investigators from the National Crime Agency, I didn't realize there was such a thing, the NCA, are now working nonstop to hunt down those responsible for the ransomware. And again, we're led to believe it was the Russians. A preliminary came from Russia. Blame the Russians. Or maybe you don't want to blame anyone. You just want to say some bad guy did it. We got to find him. And we can't seem to find him. And they're taking this system down, and your 401k just got screwed over, and the markets crashed, and high-frequency traders, their systems went haywire because they couldn't trade automatically like they do, and the market was falling, and normally they would come in and buy stuff up and push it back up, but they couldn't because the ransomware took effect and encrypted their files, so the market kept crashing. Oh, my God. And who is the average sheeple American going to be upset with? Are they going to be pointing the finger at Ben Bernanke, Janet Yellen, the Fed, Trump even? The Democrats, the Republicans? Who are they going to point the finger at? They're going to point the finger at whoever the news tells them. Some bad guys on the internet, cyberland, did this. And again, initial research suggests it came from Russia. But wait a minute, that was your narrative for everything after the election. John Podesta's email said so. Everything that happens will be blamed on the Russians. So this makes me think, if you're already blaming this attack on the Russians, then that means you knew the attack was going to happen. And of course, that assumes it actually happens in the way I'm describing as a remote possibility. So, anyways, can't wait to see what happens with this. Take care.